Hey guys, welcome back. Today in Minecraft I'm going to show you my my piston item elevator. Originally this was a concept by Generikb, and he wanted to see what we could do with this neat little thing that he found, where when you throw some items in a hole shaped like that and a piston comes in, it pushes all those items up. He wanted to see if we could make some fancy elevator using that concept. Unfortunately, I saw his video 20 days late, so there are quite a few videos out there already. But the key difference between theirs and mine is automatic. In addition, note that you cannot have the same effect when a piston comes in from the other direction, because Minecraft doesn't like that. If you watch this video, he tells you this will only work when you're facing 2 or 0, and you can see which way you're facing right under the Z coordinate, so X, Y, Z, F. So 0 works and 2 works, but 1 and 3 will not work. Anyway, so my first design relied on the fact that when an item falls by a pressure plate on a fence, it sends out a little pulse. Now what I did with that pulse is I put it into a memory cell, and basically it made that pulse really long. So it turned this on for a minute, and the pulse came around here, and then, or that way, and then it reset it. So basically just made the pulse longer. That's all it did. Like that. The problem with this design, though, is when you've got a bunch of items that are all random like that, they start stacking up on top of the fence gate, and that's no fun. No one likes that. So they would just sit up there on top, and they wouldn't go down, and you don't want that, because that ruins your items like that. So my next design used this handy little feature that I found out a long time ago, where when you move blocks under a pressure plate, the the pressure plate is unaffected by what goes on underneath it, as long as there is still a block there. So what I did was we put a fence right there, and what do you know, it still stays the same. So that was a really handy feature in my next design. So essentially what I did was when you throw a block onto the contraption, pushes the fence underneath the pressure plate and the item falls through. And this will work 100% of the time. And so it's basically a pretty simple circuit. The pulse just goes into that one, pushes the fence gate under, or the fence under, and that one pushes the block back. So this is what I kind of made up. I kind of devised is you put water under it, so that way when you throw a block, it falls into the water and then flows downstream. And this is a pretty stable system, so you can have a pretty good flow of items going into it. You can have a bunch go into it. However, I wouldn't advise it for any farm that's going to be producing massive amounts of stuff, because when you spam it, the pressure plate will actually come up, and that's really annoying. I'm not sure why it does that. Also, what's cool about this is it can be used as a trap. You fall in, and that's your lava or whatever, and you die, which is good if you want to kill people. Anyway, so what I came up with is this sort of piston elevator design. This is my sort of wiring back here, and it's really compact, and it can go up forever, which is helpful. So basically what happens is this water represents item intake, so you throw an item in there, a mob spawner drops them in there, and that item falls down into this chamber right here, and that will drop the item after sending the pulse into this flow, and that'll go into the elevator chamber. Now when it made that pulse to use the switch majigger right here, the pulse went down this really long delay and hit the memory cell, and it made the pulse longer, just like I showed you before. So it extends that pulse with these repeaters right here. Now the wiring goes down under here, and that uses a piston to seal off the elevator chamber, and then the other wiring just goes up into the elevator, and basically it just kind of zigzags back and forth all the way up until you're at the top. So let's test it out. So we throw an item in there, falls down, it switches, goes into the current below. You can see the channel going, or the flow going around there. And there you go. There are your item. There's your item. This will work with like groups of items. It will work with like a big stack. Although it doesn't work too well with lots of individual items. Though the items will eventually all make it up there. Sometimes you might only, if you've got a bunch of individual items, it'll only bring them up like one, and then the next round it goes, it'll bring up all the leftover behind. So if you spammed it, which there you can see what happened right there, the pressure plate broke again, which is not fun. So the item will come up, but sometimes it'll miss a few. All those items will get brought up in the next time it activates though. Sometimes it just likes to be annoying. So there are all the leftover items that didn't make it. So let's go ahead and throw a whole stack in there, or whatever I have left of a stack. I haven't lost any items yet, the only problem is that they stay down there. There you go. So I hope you liked this video, as this is my response. You can see it left a few items down there, but if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments, or if you just want to give some general feedback, I'd appreciate it all the time. Hope you might find some sort of use for this in your base or in your mob spawner, whatever. Alright, see ya.